Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Now very recently I put out a vegetarian keto vlog and many of you watched that and you saw a paneer paratha in there, a keto paneer paratha, and you guys said show us how to make that. So here I am today to do just that. Now think about the naan, the Indian flatbread. Think about paratha, a flatbread that's a staple in northern India, and think about the uttapam, which is a staple in southern India. One recipe to rule them all, one recipe to find them, one demon stealer to bring them all, and in Headbanger's Kitchen bind them. What does that even mean, guys? Well, basically all these things are the same because it's all a simple coconut flatbread, and we're going to be making that today. And I'm going to show you how to make a paneer paratha from it, a plain simple naan from it, and also an uttapam from it. And guess what? My friends Matt and Megha have done something similar and they've made a garlic naan the same way. Make sure you check out their recipe as well. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's go and make this delicious coconut flatbread. So to make our flatbread, we're going to need half a cup of coconut flour, 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of warm water just heated up for 30 seconds in the microwave. Mix all this stuff together. Don't forget to add salt like I did, but all of this should come together into a smooth dough ball. If you feel it's a little dry, you can always add more water. Add your water in 2 batches because, well, you can't remove water from this, you can add water to it if it's too dry. Once that's done, I am going to cut it up into 4 balls because, well, I feel that this makes 4 good sized parathas. And you can of course, make whatever you like out of it. Now we're going to leave this to rest for about 15 minutes, and while that's happening I'm going to make the paneer filling for my paneer paratha. So I'm going to take some paneer, I'm going to season it with some salt and some cumin powder. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of diced onions, chop it very finely, and some coriander, and then just give all of that a good mix, and our paneer stuffing is ready. Now it's time to roll out our coconut flatbread, and I'm going to use parchment paper to do so. So squish it, squash it, flatten it, roll it, then you can cut it for a nicer, more even shape. And that's how we get the regular coconut flatbread, or the keto naan as people are calling it. Just get your pan on the gas, heat up some butter, olive oil, ghee, whatever you have, and fry the naan in that. And you want to wait till it gets nice and golden brown on one side, and then flip it over. And I'm adding some butter just so you get that sort of desi taste to it. You know, the butter naan? Oh yeah, butter naan, love it. And that's it, the naan's ready. Now for the paneer paratha. So just press out the dough a little bit and then stuff it with your paneer stuffing, and then fold everything over so you get like a big stuffed momo almost, or a dumpling, and then you squash that and you roll that out till you get the desired thickness. Don't get a little panicky if some of the paneer starts to show or come out of the dough, because that is going to crisp up on the pan and it will be delicious. Anyway, get your pan on the gas and heat up your ghee. I'd say ghee because ghee has got a desi twist to it, but otherwise butter, olive oil, anything works. Same procedure, fry it on one side, it will be lovely and golden. Flip it over, let the same thing happen, and then it's done. So for the uttapam, you flatten your dough and then you add your toppings, which is tomato, a little bit of green pepper, and some regular red onion. And then I'm going to mix this into the dough almost, like mash it in. And then just roll the dough out like you would for the normal one, between 2 sheets of parchment paper, or just squeeze it out with your hand, and that's it. Your uttapam is ready for cooking. Now ideally use coconut oil if you can, because that will enhance the coconutty flavor, but otherwise regular oil will do. Just spray it on there. Place your uttapam in the pan, and then if there are any empty spots where you see no filling, you can put some filling in there and you can press that down into the dough. And you can do this while one side gets golden brown. Then all you got to do is flip it over and Yep, that's pretty much it. You can throw in a little coriander because that cooked coriander is the sort of hallmark taste of the uttapam. And yep, that's pretty much it. Your uttapam is ready. And there you have it. Your keto flatbread done 3 ways. As a naan, as a paneer paratha and as a uttapam. Anyway guys, it's time to taste, and boy, I've been sweating it out in the kitchen making these. It's so hot in Mumbai. Anyway, let me taste the uttapam first. Oh, yummy. Totally reminds me of my South Indian. Well, I'm not South Indian, but delicious. It's soft. The onion, the kothmir. Of course, if you like spicy food, chop up a green chili and add it too. Now, the paneer paratha. Oh yeah. I love these little bits of paneer that have sort of got caramelized on the stove, which was sticking out a little bit. Delicious. I'm not going to taste the plain one because I don't have anything to taste it with. Anyway, this is as close as you're going to get to a naan or a paneer paratha or a uttapam, and you know what? This is spot on, and I hope you guys really like this recipe. I hope you'll make it. Remember to tag us on Instagram or on Facebook. Anyway, it's too hot in Mumbai right now, so I'm going to go back to the air conditioning, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking. Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Now, very recently I posted a photo on my Instagram account of this delicious keto chocolate cake. Remember that? Do you even follow me on Instagram? If you don't follow me, Anyway, this cake was made by my amazing girlfriend Dipti, who refused to be on the show, by the way, but you can follow her on Instagram as well. She's at Diabolic, and she made this fabulous chocolate keto cake. So we decided we're going to make it for you guys on today's episode. So let's go and make that delicious keto chocolate cake. Now for this recipe, we're going to need 200 grams of dark chocolate, and you got to make sure it's really dark so that it doesn't kick you out of keto. 100 grams of butter, 100 ml of cream, 5 tablespoons of Truvia or whatever sugar-free substitute you use, and 4 eggs separated into yolks and whites. Now it's time to make this keto chocolate cake, and I think a lot of you might be wondering, is this going to kick me out of ketosis, because the Lindt chocolate or any chocolate that you're using has some amount of sugar, but if you eat 1 slice a day, you are fine. So I'm going to put the macros for the first time in the description box below. Do check it out. And anyway, enough jibber jabber and wabble wabble. Let's go and talk about the cake. Let's go make the cake actually. So we're going to start by greasing our cake tin first and foremost. Make sure you have a nice cake tin, and this is a 7-inch tin because I want the cake to be nice and high, but if you use a larger pan, no problem. It'll just that your cake will be a little flatter probably. Once you're done with that, we're going to preheat our oven to about 150 to 160 degrees Celsius and get it preheated basically. Preheating your oven is very important. The next thing we're going to do is going to get a double boiler going, and that's basically to melt the chocolate. If you don't want to do this, you can microwave the chocolate in bursts of 30 seconds. So we've started the double boiler and the chocolate is slowly melting, and we're going to add in our butter to this now. 100 grams of butter, and let that melt slow and steady. Keep giving it a stir every now and then. You want it to be nice and smooth. You know, chocolate is quite temperamental, to be honest, so be careful with it. Once you've got a nice consistency there, we're going to add in our cream and give that a good mix as well. Now that the cream is also well incorporated, we're going to take it off the gas and we're going to add in the Truvia. Now if you don't have Truvia, you can use stevia or any other sweetener that you like. Just ensure that you taste the mixture constantly so you know that it's sweet enough to your liking. So anyway, now that this is done, we're going to keep this mixture aside and let it cool for a bit, because if you add in your egg yolks now, it becomes scrambled eggs. So put it on the side and let it cool, and it's time to whip up our egg whites. Now I'm whipping it up without cream of tartar, but if you have some, you can add a pinch of it. Alternatively, you can add a pinch of salt here as well, and you can also, I believe, add 2 lime juice drops, and that does the job as well of stabilizing the egg whites. Anyway, you want to whip it till it's stiff peaks basically, and once that's done, it's going to be incorporated into the chocolate mixture. But before that, it's time to add our egg yolks to the mixture now, and we're going to add in 1 egg yolk at a time into our chocolate mixture, and you want this to emulsify. That is the idea here, which is why we're adding 1 yolk at a time. So slowly incorporate them 1 at a time, and finally at the end of it, you'll have a lovely, delicious, rich, smooth and creamy looking chocolate. Now for the final step of this, we're going to add 1/3 of the egg whites, and we're just going to whip them in so that you have a nice smooth mixture. This is just to loosen up the entire thing. And then we're going to add the remaining egg whites in 2 batches, and we're going to slowly fold it in. So you want to see the motion. It's a nice folding motion. Don't get impatient and don't get aggressive with it. Fold it in. And that's it. Your cake mixture is done. Now it's time to pour it into the cake tin. Oh, look at that. That looks so delicious. Once that's done, you want to smoothen out the top a bit so it looks nice and clean. And now we're just going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes or till the center is cooked and not jiggling. And that's it. Look at that. Oh my God, does that look heavenly or does that look heavenly? Of course, don't be patient. Wait for the cake to cool before you do all this cutting and portioning out. But yeah, that's it. Keto chocolate cake ready. Here it is, my friends, the cake. It's been cooled down and I can't wait to dig in. Being on keto, desserts is one of the hardest things that you miss, so this is like I hope it's great. Oh man. Oh wow. That is a beautiful hit of dark, rich and sweet chocolate, and I can't describe, and this is still slightly warm, so it's got that little fudgy vibe to it, and I can't wait to put this in the fridge and let it cool down because I love cakes cold for some reason. Am I the only one? Do you like your cake cold or hot? But this is to die for. Look at that texture. Look at that texture, man. It's so good. You guys, please try this. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know how it turns out. I want to hear from you. And you know what, if you're not following me on Instagram yet, follow me at Demon Stealer, and of course Dipti, whose recipe this is, at Diabolique. Follow us both and we'll bring you more keto recipes soon. So till the next time, cheers and keep cooking. See you soon. Oh, and remember, 1 piece a day only, otherwise you will probably go over your required carb limits for the day. I've put the macros in the description below. Make sure you check it out. It's also on MyFitnessPal. So yep, good luck guys. Cheers. Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen, the heavy metal cooking show that's keto all the way. Anyway, for today's recipe, we've got a beautiful broccoli and cheese soup. Oh yeah, I know it's winter where a lot of you are, and in my case it's a 20 degrees Celsius winter, but this soup is so heartwarming and so rich and delicious that it will even warm up the Night King's cold dead heart. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's go and make that broccoli and cheese soup. So to make our broccoli and cheese soup, we're going to start by cutting up the broccoli. Now you don't want to throw away any of the broccoli, but we're going to start by cutting the florets off the broccoli stalk. Just make sure you cut it as close to the head of the floret. You want to leave as much of the stalks out of this for now. Once you are done chopping up all the florets, set them aside and clean up the broccoli stalk. So remove some of the leaves, cut off the very extreme end of the stalk, and then just roughly chop the rest of it. The idea is that we waste none of the broccoli. Use every single thing that we can. You can even leave on some of those little leaves that are there. They taste absolutely fine in this soup. Once you're done with that, we're just going to take the broccoli florets and chop them up into smaller pieces, because I'm not going to puree the florets because I want to get a bite of broccoli in every bite of my soup. So that's why I'm just going to chop it up nice and fine. Now on to making the soup, and I'm going to make it in my Dutch oven because I said what the heck, I own one, so I might as well use it. Anyway, I'm going to heat up a tablespoon of olive oil, and to that I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter because, well, butter makes everything better. Also, you can use bacon fat or any other kind of fat that you like. It'll just add to the flavor of the soup. Once that's melted down, I'm going to add in one roughly chopped onion, as well as the broccoli stalks which I chopped up earlier. And then you just want to fry that and let it cook. You want to cook it till it starts to get some color. The whole idea here is to develop flavor. You want to caramelize those onions and that broccoli stalk, build in the flavor into that. Now once that's been cooking for a while and you're starting to see some color, we're going to add in a few cloves of garlic. And you just want to fry that till the garlic starts to get some color on it. Now we are going to season this with some salt, some black pepper, some paprika, and some cayenne pepper, and give it all a good mix. The idea is you want everything to infuse. You know, when you cook Indian food, you almost like fry out the powdered spices into the oils, and that just gives the whole dish extra flavor. So that's exactly the technique we're using here. I'm also going to throw in some fresh thyme leaves, and since I had some fresh basil lying around as well, I decided to add that. The basil will just give it a nice, like almost minty freshness. Of course, you can completely skip these two fresh herbs if you don't have them. You can alternatively use dried herbs. You can even use some fresh rosemary depending on what kind of a flavor you like. Now this has all been cooking for a bit and everything is starting to get nice and caramelized. You can see the bottom of the pan getting brown with that fond. So now we're going to deglaze it with some vegetable stock. You can also use chicken stock. You can also just use water. No problem with any of them. So we're just going to pour that in. Give it all a good mix. Make sure you get all that fond off the bottom of the vessel you're cooking in. And then just cover it and let it cook for a good 5 minutes. Once that is done, we're just going to transfer it into our blender. Now what I'm going to do is transfer most of the vegetables and leave the stock aside. So once I've transferred most of the vegetables, I'm going to pour the stock into another saucepan. Then I'm going to blitz up those vegetables and then slowly add in the rest of the stock. The idea is I will get a much smoother and creamier soup then. Once that's done, we're going to use the same Dutch oven and heat up a whole tablespoon of butter. And then we're going to throw in our broccoli florets. Now you just want to spread those across the pan and don't touch them for a good 2 to 3 minutes. We want that broccoli to start to get some color on it. You want to let it cook and let it char almost. You know, it has that nice roasted flavor almost. Just every once in a while give it a mix so you make sure nothing is burning. In fact, I'm going to add another whole tablespoon of butter to give it an even more rich taste. So yeah, give that all a good mix now. Make sure nothing is burning or sticking, but make sure you're giving it some nice color. In fact, I'm going to rummage around and pick out a few florets for garnishing later. just because I have to, because I'm a food show and I need to make everything look pretty. Anyway, once our broccoli is cooked, it's got some color, you can see it's a nice robust green. I'm going to put a sieve on the dish and I'm going to pour out that puree or the soup that we've blended. And the reason I'm running it through the sieve is because I want the creamiest, most decadent soup. Of course, if you like it chunky, meaty and all that, you can skip this step and just pour it in as it is. I prefer to take it to the next level. Once that's done, give it all a good mix. Check your soup for seasoning. If you need some salt, pepper, etc., etc., just add it in. I'm going to add in a little bit of water just to thin it out a wee bit, not too much. And then I'm going to add in 150 mils of heavy cream and also about 100 grams of cheddar cheese. Oh yeah, you can use whatever cheddar cheese you like, it's completely up to you. And then just give that all a good mix and let it cook till the cheese has melted and it's all one delicious creamy mixture. So at this point, if you want smaller pieces of broccoli, you can actually use your immersion blender and sort of blend it with the soup to get it more creamy. But I prefer to have that texture in my soup. I want to bite into a nice chunky piece of broccoli. So anyway, just let it cook till everything is well incorporated together, and that's it. Serve your broccoli and cheese soup in a bowl, garnish it with a little bit of extra cheddar cheese on top, and I'm going to put one of those broccoli florets to make it look extra pretty. And that's it. Our broccoli and cheese soup is ready. And oh yeah, time to taste. Alright guys, so it's time to taste our broccoli cheese soup, and look who is back on the show. It is my dad.
Hello people. You know, the best part about being the father of a son who cooks is that you get to be part of the best part of the show. That's the tasting. Now I'm going to taste this soup.
Are you ready? Do you like broccoli even?
I love broccoli.
That doesn't sound very convincing, but let's taste. Get a piece of the broccoli. Yummy. You know what it needs, no? Fresh pepper on top. Should put some pepper on.
You know guys, considering it's 5 o'clock in the evening and I've had a huge prawn curry lunch in the afternoon, you normally would imagine a broccoli soup at 5 o'clock. But trust me guys, this is thick, it's creamy, and it's very, very broccoli.
And get a lovely bits of melted cheese.
I'm a bit messy, but it's tasty as hell.
Alright, so you've heard the verdict from the man himself, my dad. And yep, I guess I'm going to see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Don't forget to make this soup. Tag us on Instagram at Headbanger's Kitchen. And yep, see you in the next episode. Cheers and keep cooking.
Bye.
Horns up guys, if you like the video and the recipe, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show, you can either pick up a t-shirt, we've got a whole bunch of them, links are in the video description box below, or you can support us on Patreon by clicking here or here somewhere, I don't know where, and you can even watch another episode by just clicking either here or here. Enjoy!